On the first trip, I felt like I went there to forgive my husband at the time,
Mhm.
which I did. It's one of those things you put down, pick up 500 times. But
Yeah.
I did begin that process of forgiving that I will eventually get to, the finality of forgiving. But I didn't expect to need to forgive myself. As I mentioned earlier, all those ways I had betrayed myself. I was being betrayed by my husband, but then I started seeing how I had betrayed myself. I had stayed in a place where I wasn't loved. I had beat myself up over it. I had given up parts of myself, and I felt like I hadn't fought for myself. I fought for my marriage, but not for me. And so I had to learn that there's a process of forgiving yourself for things too. And if you don't do that, then you stay right in here and you beat yourself up. And it is the biggest energy vampire you can have, is to need to forgive yourself and not be able to. So I would say that was probably one of the biggest. And I also learned, said those pilgrims would listen to me and talk to me about the divorce and all of that. That was something I had never really seen. My family's very boisterous and they were all talking all over each other all the time. I hadn't really seen a great example of making space for someone. And these people did that for me. And then I learned to shut up and listen and make space for someone else and just try not to go, oh, me too, interject and interject. You think you're being empathetic, but what you're really doing is interrupting their process of speaking. And that led to so many. I was a better boss when I came back. I was a better mother. I was a better daughter, sister, friend. And learning to give safe space to someone
Yeah.
is one of the largest gifts that you can give. And it made me want to be a podcaster, to do what you're doing. You've made space for me to tell my story. And that was really important for me as part of having written a book and wanting women in midlife to understand that it's not over and there's a process and there's ways you can help yourself. And I wanted to keep learning. And so that's why I ended up the podcast. But that skill and that desire to listen goes all the way back to 2018, walking the Camino.